to have a show just even hit like any kind of cult status in my books is cool.
Hi, this is Tara Bennett, a contributing editor for Sci-Fi Wire, and we have with us Grace Park. Hello, Grace. How are you?
Really, really good. It's so good to be in Austin.
So you are, honestly, our flagship show from back in the day. You really kind of established us as a network and as one of the great contemporary sci-fi shows that are out there. Is it crazy now to think 14 years, since the show premiered? The legacy, and that it still stayed as one of the most well-regarded sci-fi shows and dramas that we've had in this like kind of new era of television.
Yeah, it's absolutely an honor to be a part of the show and to have worked with Ron, Moore, and David Eick, and the cast and the producers, like everyone. There just seemed to be so many fans that were on the show. But yeah, to have a show just even hit like any kind of cult status in my books is cool. Even if it's like, sure, we didn't have 20 million followers, but like, or viewers, it's like, but I didn't want that. Like, to me, this has like way more cool, like niche status. But the lasting, like staying power, that really speaks to the show and the writing and so many different facets about it. And they're definitely very grateful to be a part of that. And in a way, you don't need like the awards and whatnot, because this is what you can tuck under your belt.
Do you, when you look back at the character of Sharon, and you got to play two different versions of her, when you're playing her as Boomer and you're playing her as Athena, did you ever have an affinity for one more than the other, when you're playing her, or that you connected with more one versus the other?
Yeah, I think in the long run, definitely Athena more so. I think because Boomer was it was just like she was so tragically conflicted. But initially I started out with Boomer more, and I noticed how much other people had so much in common with like certain kind of uncanny commonness with their character. And it's not because they put it in there, it was like written that way.
Yeah, they started serving you guys.
Yeah, and so I thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not like conflicted, like, am I? And of course I totally was. But I do think that I transitioned out of that more towards Athena, and I think she just had so much more hope within her. And it's not that I don't think that people are made strong by not having these adversities in their life. And so through these things, what are the choices you make when you have these difficult decisions in front of you? And sometimes it's like it really takes the trials to make you that much stronger and burn brighter, and you're not going to necessarily be strong unless you have these challenges put in front of you, and then it's trial by fire, and then you see what you do. But certainly there were a lot of strong female characters, and I have to say, like I said, I'm not super up on my television, so there might have already been quite a lot of strong female characters, but from my experience, I remember it was curious to me how we had so many strong female characters, because the landscape of television, I think, was more male before. And so when we kept having that, I kept thinking maybe it was like a phase, because it just didn't fit what I'd experienced. But no, the president and Starbuck and Six or myself, like, it's not like we had it all together, and it's certainly not like the characters were perfect, but that was it was really like, it was unusual to me, and it took me a while to realize, oh no, this is completely all by design, and it's within Ron's vision, and I was very appreciative of that. And I think to me it was like one of the things that kind of changed the trajectory of TV.
So many shows are getting revisited, so a kind of next question to that would be, would you ever want to be in, if they've talked about redoing Battlestar Galactica as like another full reboot, but would you ever want to go back and play out what those stories could have been afterwards, just to see it? Or do you like it ended the way it ended, and this whole continuation phase that's going on in television and film, where they pick it up and do a revival or something? Would you prefer to leave it the way it is, or do you think that that would be fun to go back and talk about those stories?
It depends on what the story is, and also I would of course want Ron to be at the helm of that. And I would want, the majority of the characters, if not all of them, to be back. If it was just like 3 of them and you're going to do it, it'd just be like, I really don't need to be a part of it. But sure, if it was like, 6 of them were there, and be like, of course I'd want to be a part of it. However, if we were going to do it, it's like, do it sooner rather than later. It's like, you don't want to do it. You're like, oh, you're like 58. And they're like, so, it's like, don't worry, we can like pull it back, and you can still
Stretch and pull and
yeah, you'd be like, oh, awesome. I don't really want to do that, but if it was, to me, if it was revisited, it would be, and if Ron was going to do it, to me, I would believe in him that there would be something within him that he'd want to tell another piece, and then I know it would be worthwhile.